What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Savage Corner. Number 6, I think. Man, we're really getting up there. You know what time it is. If you guys haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on notifications so you can stay up to date with everything Savage Corner. Of course, I'm here tonight with the lovely Miss Summer Dean.
Hey,
How are you doing tonight, Miss?
hey. I'm great. How are you, my love?
Good. Good. It's been a busy day. So I got to tell you what happened this morning on the way to taking Jonathan to school. So I get there and I drop him off. And I noticed right away, like the parking lot, there wasn't many cars there.
Uh-oh.
Right. So I drop him off. He looks weird, like he's at a place, normal teenager. And then he walks into the building. And then I don't even get but 5 minutes down the road. I get a text message and he ain't got no power. No power in the school whatsoever. And
Um,
I'm like, what hell? So I kind of pulled over for a minute or two. I'm text messaging back and forth, but it just blew my mind because at one point he sends me a picture, right? And in the picture, all the kids are sitting in their classroom seats using their phones as a flashlight. Okay. So when we were in school, I don't even know if they would let us do that, first of all. They'd have been like, "Nah, y'all going home."
yeah.
But, they were gonna try to attempt to go for it, which I appreciated, but it was just weird. So I wanted to tell you that because, I mean, just think, wa was there ever a time that the power went out and did you stay in the class? I think they would push us outside like a fire drill, right?
Um, no, because we had hurricanes and half the time our air didn't work and we didn't get to go home.
Well, so that's the difference now, right? So now, right, it's all digital. So they have to use their laptops and the Wi-Fi. So without power, they are absolutely rendered
Mhm.
useless.
What
You know?
happens? What happens? Oh my goodness gracious. What really like the whole world melts down.
Yeah, yeah. But again, it made me think that when we were kids, like what would have happened? First of all, second of all, like they will find any reason to shut these schools down now. Like, we didn't get this luxury. I didn't even have AC in my high school. All right, so I'll take that back. My freshman year, we didn't have AC. We did my sophomore through senior years, but the freshman year, like if it was too hot outside, they did have to send us home
Yeah.
because it was 119 degrees in the classroom.
Yeah.
We're gonna fry. Here in
Start
Virginia,
cooking.
we're not equipped for that. Yeah, in Virginia, we're not equipped for that mess. So there was never a time that y'all got sent home because your power was out, right?
No, because they just make us go outside.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but
And then even when I went,
I don't ever remember being sent home because it was too hot in the school, like if something was going on or like they
yeah,
still cooked for us and everything. No, when Corbin and Carson went to school in Hawaii,
yeah,
I don't believe that all of the buildings were air conditioned but they would go to school in like shorts and shirts that they could take off and you know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. It's just insane if you ask me, because it just seems like they have missed so much school. I mean, when you were here visiting, like, I mean, I want to say there was like 3 or 4 days where he didn't go because the power was out. It's just it's so odd that this school, and it is an alternative school because he's going to school for coding, or computer programming. So
Dude, you just
out
said
of his computer
alternative
program.
school. Hold on. You said alternative school, or my mind went, oh, the bad kid school. It's not the bad kid school.
That's why and that's why I had to come back in and tell the people he's not a bad kid, he's
Oh,
a smart kid.
no,
Uh,
great.
yeah, and that's the reason why I had to say it that way, because so he's not a bad kid, he's a smart kid, he's in a computer programming so if he completes all these classes, then he can actually have a degree in coding coming out of high school. So that's the reason why it's set up the way it is. But being it's a programming school, like they rely heavily on the internet. So even when I got there, like the lady was like, I, I have no way of telling your student to come down here. Did you call him?
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, schools are just it just seems like it's wild because even when he was in a regular high school, or middle school, because he just started high school as a freshman, it was kind of the same way. It's just like it seems like they had way more time off of school for situations than we did, you know?
See, in Corbin and Carson, like, it's so much different because they could, like, leave school and go get lunch, like, walk down the road a little bit, go get lunch, and go back to school if they wanted.
Yeah,
Like, they
yeah,
didn't have, like, and whenever they moved from the Hawaii back to stateside, they were, like, felt they were, like, locked in. Like,
yeah,
everybody had,
mhm,
this and that in the phone, and people were tracking them, and it was just, like, to a lot of information all at one time, I think, for them.
yeah, yeah. And even so with them, so they didn't have a way, so they don't have a kitchen in this school. So what they do is they get the lunch from another school, but they keep it warm or cold at this school, right? So being that all that stuff was not working, they weren't going to be able to supply lunch, so they had to cancel school. But they did reopen the school, but by then he only would have had a few hours left. I wasn't going to take him across town to do that,
Yeah.
so he had stayed home the whole day. So, but it
Hey,
just like I said,
you know
it made
what?
me,
His prayers were answered the minute he said, "Yes, I have to go back
oh
home."
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, that. But it just, like I said, it blew my mind and made me think about school when we were younger,
Yeah,
So,
that's funny.
but, other than
I'm
that,
sharing that, baby.
yeah, other than that, I, worked on social media today, heavy, heavy, heavy social media today, and trying to figure out if we're going to move the podcast, to a different editor and also to a different host, and a bunch of other stuff as well too. So, and then working with the book. If the audience doesn't know, we released a book. It's called Savage Shadows, and it's a journal slash shadow workbook, that will put you in the right place, to start a healing journey. So, it's a burn book, is what they call it. So you basically jot down on the pages. Actually, I have one of the pages right here. So basically, you would just read the question. There's an example there to help you. Put the answer that you should be thinking about at least. You would fill it out here. Then you go to the next question, read the example, and then you fill it out here. And then the cool thing about this book is like you print it off. It's an ebook. So if you don't want nobody to see it, you set it on fire. That's why they call it a burn book. So that way you can get out your emotions or process emotions without having anybody else to see it. So you've been working a little bit with the book. What do you think about it?
Oh my goodness. So I have done a bunch of journals like this, and
Yeah.
this one is definitely sending me back through those same, like, emotions, like, whenever you're angry and you're mad and you're sad and you're depressed, like, it puts you back in there, but then it puts you back in there for what you've already been through, and to see
Yeah.
kinda, like, how far you came, and it's really opened my eyes and even made me make decisions in my life.
Yeah.
So, and I
'Cause
think I'm still on chapter 1, like, I've been through the first 4 pages, and I'm like, "I cannot believe we did this."
yeah, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, but you were working on your mural today, right? The wall?
Oh, yes, honey. Oh, yes. It is looking absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, they are great people, and I get to do this really cool big cross, and it has, like, sunshine behind it, and they are a mission that just helps the community and the homeless and does adult education, just a whole bunch of great stuff for the community. And like, and when we were drawing it, and I think that we have been going back and forth on just an all-around design for probably a month and a half. Like, the whole time that I was at your house, remember? Like, I was just like, "We just
Yeah.
can't figure it out." And we finally nailed something down. I got there, drew all the placement on, and it's just, like, flowing naturally and great, and it looks beautiful,
Yeah. Hmm.
and I can't
So
wait.
this is right, right. So this is an outreach center, right?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
So a community center, and you're doing artwork onto the walls to let them know the services that the community center actually offers, basically, right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing. I know you love doing that.
I do, and
Yeah. So
it's
what else
one of
happened
the
in
things.
support life?
Oh, well, I got up this morning early and did a few mom things. And my granddad got married this weekend when she knew that, but I just wanted everybody else to know that he's 86.
Yeah.
And I want to congratulate him and his new wife, Miss Marlene. And it was pretty great. And it was super sweet. And they'll be great for one another.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's awesome. I know a lot of people out there, if you've never been in a situation where somebody like your grandparents are getting remarried to somebody else, for some families and for some family members, it's odd. And they don't like it. They get frustrated. They get angry. But my grandfather remarried several times actually. He kept outliving wives, didn't want to be alone. He found good people, and we accepted every one of them into our family. But how what is your feel on it? Like, how do you feel about the situation?
I mean, it was definitely, I'm not, I'm gonna, it, it was different. And it was because that's all I've seen my entire life was from my grandmother. But I also saw all of his struggles, and it was a like lovey-dovey, weird little moment, and I thought it was perfect, actually.
Yeah,
So, I mean, everybody's gonna have their opinions and their own opinions, but that man did right by his wife and his family, and he can do whatever he wants.
yeah, and I mean that's it, and that's why I never understood the discussion because at the end of the day, that's their life, and if that's what they want to do with it, then
Mm,
all you want to do is support them. Because why would you not want them to be happy?
yeah.
You know, what is it in people that doesn't want them to be happy? You know, yeah, I've tried my best to see this in so many
And
different
be
directions.
supportive, like, be supportive if
Right.
that's what they
Uh,
want. You don't have to live that life, just let them do.
yeah. Because there was plenty of people in my family that were against him remarrying.
Yeah.
So it was it made it a weird situation altogether. And I just, whatever makes them happy. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
They like a little bit more life to live. Let them live it.
That's what I
They
think
should,
too.
yeah, yeah. Unless they're getting into a dangerous position or can get things taken from them or somebody's trying to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Uh, I get that. But other than that, man, just let them be happy.
Everybody's happy. But oh man, I gotta go back to my day. And then I came home and Gorman was making this amazing pasta dish. Um, and we ate. And I talked to you just for a few minutes and then you put me back to work.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
here I am
Yeah.
again, baby. Here I am again.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mm,
So we wanted to try something a little different tonight, right? You have
yes.
so we had some people email us or message us questions, of course, but we're doing this. Everybody's going to be anonymous. Absolutely. Everybody is going to be anonymous. So if you guys want to email us questions that we could try to answer on the podcast for you, we'd love to hear the information. So you can email us at the bearded savage LLC at gmail.com. Or you can try to reach out through DM, through Instagram. I will warn you ahead of time. Sometimes it's hard for us to go through all those DMs. And if I'm not following you back, you get kicked into a file that's hidden. And I try to go through those as much as I can. So, definitely reach out to us because we'd love to be able to continue to read these and try to help people and also to get feedback from y'all on how you feel about certain situations. We're not the gurus or the end alls or the know everythings. We're just two people that have been through a lot of experiences and we want to try to share them with you guys. So, do you got the emails there in front of you?
I do, honey, I do. Well, I think I do anyways. I know that. Um, there's something going on outside. The people, I don't know. There's loud noises. So,
I can't hear it through my end, so
okay, good. Okay. So, um, I will be honest, like whenever we get these messages and somebody says gets it and wants advice or something like that, just we are answering y'all from past experience, just so everybody knows. And what we just as good humans want to guide you to do. But this is all what you want at the end, what you want. So without further ado, you ready?
Right.
Okay. Um, so this person says, I'm so frustrated because this guy I am dating completely blocked me. He ignores me, and then weeks later, I hear from him again.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Terrible. Yeah. He's so that's and I hate guys with this mentality because to me it's just it's terrible. They're literally keeping her on a short leash.
Amy.
Uh, he's got somebody else, or he's got somebody else in mind, and he doesn't want to keep you so far that you disappear, but he doesn't want to keep you close enough because the other option to him is better, which is probably not. It's usually not. But that is, I hate it when a guy makes this move. And that's what people have to realize from the man side. So if you don't know, the love at first sight, that's a male thing. It takes males a split second to fall in love versus a female, it takes them a few weeks actually. So if that man is not all the way up your rear end at the beginning, he's either doing his best to control that, which is a good thing, or he is not interested. And you can normally tell the difference between the two. But it when somebody says that they keep disappearing and keep coming back and keep disappearing and keep coming back, they are literally using you or holding on to a piece of you so that you don't leave. They're trying to keep your interest because they're fielding out other options. So you don't want to deal with it, then don't deal with it. You know. So
Yeah, I can see that. And I'm just like, yeah, no, bye. Whenever they do that, like, or when they used to do that, and they might text me a couple weeks later, and I send back video chats that says, "Hey, dude,
uh-uh.
one chance.
Yeah,
You didn't blow my mind. Peace out.
right. You know,
Block."
and that's what I always say. I mean, I said it 1,000 times in reels and Instagrams, and I mean reels and TikToks, and like just look at their feet, not their mouth.
Yeah.
Don't listen to what they say. Look at how they move. If they don't move the way you want them to move, then don't waste your time. You know, just it is what it is. Now, if you start to move and that person comes along, okay, well then see if you want to entertain it. But don't allow them to dictate everything like that. If they're not reaching out to you and you're reaching out to them, cut them off. Cut them off.
You know, it was like clockwork whenever Wes and I, like, he came into like, I don't know if y'all know the story, but he came into my TikTok live through a friend, and he saw me. He fell in love with me, and then I unfollowed him a few times, and then and then and then we just fell in love. And but from that first night that he came on my live, after that live, he sent me his Snapchat. He sent me a way to reach out. So I was like, "Ooh, okay, let's call him." I got on that Snapchat and called him, and he answered. So
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't deal with men that can't be responsive to me. It's because I have an intention with you. If you have no intention, then I'm okay with that.
Right. Right.
So
And that yeah,
I think that's,
and
and
we're
I think that's where women get that. Like, they're like, oh, he gave me a little bit of attention. He must be interested. No, I totally flirted with you because I thought you were cute.
yeah.
I did all the right things, obviously.
Right.
So,
Right. And that's what they mean when they say, because I've heard it 1,000 times. I even did the quote as well too. And until that person shows you their full intent with not only words but with actions, you continue to date and you continue to call people back and you continue to respond to messages because until that person's intent is obvious, then you're gonna waste your time. You know,
absolutely.
so And it's like with you, I almost didn't answer that phone call because I was like, whoa. Like, I mean, I just gave this girl's gonna be crazy. Is what I thought. I'm going to be honest with you. Don't do that. I mean,
Dang.
look, audience, especially if you're able to comment whatever podcast you're listening to, like, help me out here because you give somebody your number and they call you immediately. I was like, whoa, all right, but there was something there and I knew it was, so I did answer it, and I'm glad that I did. Don't get me wrong, but I remember looking at my phone, I was like, it wasn't even a phone call, y'all. It was a video chat. So I was like, oh, like my hair, oh God, like I gotta put a hat on.
You were just on my live, Wes.
Yeah, but I had gotten off and thinking that I was just, I took my hat off, got out of my chair,
Oh, okay.
and then all of a sudden it's ringing, video chat. And I'm like, oh Lord. I just wasn't ready for it. Caught me off
Wow.
guard. So, yeah, that's the way it usually works.
I said, here I am, baby.
Right. Right. But I mean, it to me, like I said, when you date with an intention, and it's crazy because we're actually we're working on a course right now
We
for
are.
to join. It's called Dating with Intent. And you know, you have to have an intent. You're going into something where you could quite possibly find someone to spend the rest of your life with, and you're not going to go in with boundaries and intentions. Just kind of blows my mind. It's like, just do you just go buy the first car you see? Do you just go buy the first house that you see? So you got several promotions that you were offered, but you took the job that had the least amount of pay for it. Like, I mean, be serious about your day.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be, somebody that doesn't call anybody back. You don't have to be some of these people that serial date, but, date with an intention, date with the idea and the practice and the boundaries, to ensure that this crap doesn't happen. So that's exactly what this person is doing, just keeping them on a leash.
Yeah. That I can honestly say I've never had that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't even
Oh, I have.
imagine.
I have plenty of times, but I just didn't stand for it.
Yeah.
I might enter, like I said, I might enter it the first time because I moved in a direction and he reached back out. Cool. But then when you do it again, nah, I'm good.
I just went,
Good.
"Ow," to you. So,
No, you mirrored the effort. I put an effort, you gave it back. I put an effort, you gave it back. And then you started putting an effort and I gave it back. And that's what you're supposed to do, mirror the effort, just it should be a real easy flow. There shouldn't be a process or trying. So when we say these things, don't think like it's gonna happen the first time, first of all. Second of all, you shouldn't have to work at it. It should just evenly flow, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
reciprocated.
Reciprocated, mirrored, all these big words.
All of those big words. Hey, here's another one. My question is, how do you know when to work on a relationship and when to cut it loose?
Eh.
This is a wow. Okay. I'm gonna
Um,
go ahead, buddy. I'm gonna let you do this one.
um, so of course it's gonna be depending on the scenario. If it's abuse, get out. If it's financial suicide, and I think you guys know what I mean by that, where you've lost home, you've lost car, you've lost everything you have, then you got to do what you got to do. But be careful with what you run away from because sometimes you should be working things out. So, but at the end of the day, to me, it's what are you willing to continue to work with? You can use the word put up with there, but that to me sounds a little harsh. But
Okay.
it's really what it is. What are you willing to work on with that person? Because if your willingness is not there, it's not going to work. So really that choice to me is what's inside you. Do you want to continue to foster this relationship? If you don't, then the intent's not there, then you have to sever ties because it will take the both of y'all, you know, to be able to move forward. and it can't be one sided. So I mean, it's just again, if it's these really really harsh things, then yeah, get out, run, don't even look back. But if it's something small or minor, even if it's something that's repetitive, again, are you willing to continue to work with that person on that? If not, then you got to go. So but you got to come to a decision. Letting it happen over and over again is not the decision. You know.
Yeah. I was trying to find a quote that I actually did the other day, and I can't find it right off the top of my head, but it kind of had to do with this, but I can't find it, so we're not going to talk about it anymore.
Well, what is your thoughts on it then? Period.
Um, I think that there are some things that you can't recover from as women.
Mhm.
And one is we put all of our trust into our partners, and if that trust is broken, that that's hard to get over as a woman and not to remember that. And because because I would never think to do that to you, and I thought that it was back and forth. So, it's just some of those things. Whenever I was begging for attention, I couldn't get over the fact that I even had to beg, that I even let myself beg for attention. So for me, I had to take myself out of that situation because I knew it was best for me, because I will not beg anybody for attention.
Right. Right. And you shouldn't. I
Yeah.
mean, you shouldn't. That's another one of those things on that list where if you are literally begging for somebody to pay attention to you or to even work on things that obviously need to be worked on, and they're not reciprocating it, then it's about time. I mean, it really is because again, if there's no willingness between the other partner, then you're just going to go in circles, and that's where it's funny that we're talking about this right now because for people that have just followed and never looked into the background of it, that's where the name Savage comes from because I am giving advice or talking to people. And when I first got started, I was actually the bearded alpha. I think it's what it was, if I remember correctly. But as I got to talking to people, because I was in a healed place and most of these people were in a non-healed place, they would ask me something and I would be like, just do it, And they're like, Jesus, that's savage. And I'm like, nah, it's just from a healed place. Once you get there, you really do look back and say, man, why did I put up with any of this mess? It wasn't the right thing to do. So and that's where the name Savage came in because it sounds from an unhealed person, some of the advice that we might give, it's going to sound like, well, I just said, yeah, that's really the basis of it. What are you willing to put up with? If you're going to willingly continue to let this person walk all over you, then do it.
But wait,
But if not,
but if you can't make that decision, then look at how you speak to yourself.
right,
And look how
right,
much you beat yourself up.
yeah,
Whatever you do to yourself, you let someone else do to you as well.
no, yeah.
So
I had
change your words.
right, right. No, I had a young lady. I didn't really click on the account. Didn't really dig into it much. I could tell age bracket, and most of the women that follow me are usually between the ages of 30 and 50, but what she actually put in the comment of my quote was, what if everybody thinks I'm weird and I think I'm weird too? And I was just like, well, and so my response was, first of all, you're not weird because there's a whole group of 500,000 people at Instagram that think just like you do. And second of all, don't you ever stop being your own kind of beautiful. And that's because it blew my mind, but it made me reminded me of myself, like when I first started going through Instagram, TikTok, right?
Mhm.
So I got on there, recorded a couple of videos. It was TikTok actually when I first started, and I put them out. And next thing I know, I had a whole stack of women, not single at the time, I had a whole stack of women telling me that I was attractive. And I said, damn it, I didn't know I was attractive. I said that to a friend of mine, Tyler. And
Baby.
like, what? I said, I'm not attractive, so just sticking a video out on TikTok regained my confidence within myself. and that's been several years ago now, 2 years ago, almost three. But I had gotten to a place in my life where I did not feel attractive. I felt like I was the ugliest thing on the face of the earth because I was told in my marriage that I was unattractive, lazy, fat, manipulative, all this stuff that I really wasn't. I wasn't. But it was hard. So, I mean, so when she said that, I felt that right away. I was like, I remember that person, and nobody told me at the time. So I'm gonna tell you right now,
Yeah.
you are not weird.
Yeah.
You are not. Different is cool. Weird, you are not. You know what I mean? So, it just kind of blew me up.
You
So,
know what? Like, I've been called weird my entire life. Well, weird and wild and whatever. I'm
you know,
just like, actually, I'm not weird. You're weird. That's my new response is, no, I'm not weird. You're weird.
yeah, yeah, you're weird, not me.
Yeah. I am perfectly normal in my own little
Right?
universe.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, if you continue to be your own kind of beautiful, of course, that's one of my catchphrases. But if you
Yes.
continue to be your own kind of beautiful, then the right people will will follow in. They'll surround you. They'll love you for who you are because people can call bullshit. I don't care if they're terrible people or not. They can call bullshit. And if you're trying to act like something that's not your authentic self, they're gonna know right away. So just be you. Like But again, I know that comes from a healed state, not a non-healed state. So it sounds harsh or doesn't sound like you can do it, but trust me, you can do it. You're special in your own kind of way. I don't care who you are. So
Embrace it, folks. Embrace it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, no, cracks.
Are we ready to go to the next one?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I think we beat this down the ground long enough.
Okay. Okay, so this is a message sent to Wes. I just want you to know I really appreciate you and your posts. They help me so much. I've been living overseas with my husband. Well, last year, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. I went home stateside to help her through all her treatments and surgeries, and and was away for 9 months until my mom was cancer free. I returned abroad to find myself disconnected from my husband. Turns out he started to have an affair 1 month after I left. Worse, he's still seeing her and has zero remorse and actually blames me for him cheating. So I literally am in the process and leaving next week and moving back to my family so I can start the divorce process. I feel so crappy and it's such a low blow. I'm not even on the same continent as my family and going through all of this, I feel so alone. So I say all this to say your posts are helping me stay strong so I can get myself and our babies to a safe place and heal and get my second chance at life free of lies and manipulation.
Those still tear me up.
Yeah.
It really does. I'm gonna start with the fact that I'm able to help somebody in that stage of life means the world to me. I mean, the absolute world to me. It's the reason why I continue to do it because I knew how it felt to be completely alone. You know, so that's that's the first part. The second part is that does that sound like military to you? You had a military background, so
Yeah. And
yeah.
it's very common and this is very, I'm going to say 99%
Yeah.
like just ridiculousness.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So unpack it. So like 9 months is a terrible amount of time, and it would be weighing on the relationship, but he should have been willing to continue to do that. There was a sick family member. I mean, Jesus,
I mean, we
you
wait on
know.
them because they
Yep.
tell us we don't come in their bags. They tell us all of this stuff. So, I mean, nobody waits on us.
Right. 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 Right.
So,
And then the hugest part that I heard was hugest. Is that even the right?
you just
The
but you
biggest
may
part. that I heard on the backside of that was he blamed you because he cheated.
Yeah,
Um, that's manipulation 101, and I got the same thing too. Like, at first they try to find everything they can not to be the bad person. So they result into doing things or saying things that don't make any freaking sense. Because at a healed state, what do you mean? Like, I didn't force you upon that person. So no, you did this on your own. But so there was definitely manipulation there. The other thing too is, I'm just gonna be honest with you, that wasn't the first time. There's no way that 30 days later he's already with some woman, because the thought process may not have been that woman, and he may have been that he not cheated on you, but the thought process had been there for a very long time.
yeah,
He just had the ability to act on it because you weren't there.
yeah.
So it's just it was already broken most likely. So most likely we're missing some of the story here, but just speaking from what we're reading, yeah, that person is manipulating you. He cheated on you. It sounds like you got your closure already, which is fantastic. And it sounds like you have a path to move on, which you definitely should do. And then just continue to move forward, but I hate the manipulation portion. That is the hardest thing to deal with, and not react to too, because it's insanity for you to think that I had some reason for you to cheat on me. I don't care what I did. I don't care, you
It's the
know?
stupidest excuse I've ever heard in my life.
It is your choice to do what you did. Because even if I did do something wrong, you had the ability to leave me, right? You
Yeah,
chose to go foster somebody else. That's your
yeah.
choice. It's a choice, so it just, mm, mm. What I'd like to do to some of these guys to say the things that they say. But look, I'm gonna tell you flat out, women do it too. I mean, women do it too. They'll do the exact same thing the men do. You know?
And when we say women are men, guys, we know those roles go both ways. We get that comment a lot. Just so y'all know, we know that goes both ways.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
we wouldn't expect anything less from one another. So,
yeah. No, absolutely not.
yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay, babe. There's more. I know that you don't. I'm not trying to ruffle your tail feathers. I promise. These are just so sweet and like this is with me. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Don't make me cry.
Okay. I'm gonna try not to. It says, "Hi, William. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your videos on here has spoke to me like nothing I've seen before. I was in an emotional and mental and financial abusive relationship for 10 years. I finally asked him to leave after he cheated for the second time that I knew of.
But
It, it took me 2 years to let the walls down and trust another man's word and trust that he would love me and treat me properly. Well, that soon turned to garbage when the abuse on every form started. He just recently has left our house and hasn't returned, but will verbally keep tabs on me. I've never been strong enough to leave, but your videos have given me strength and reassurance that standing my ground and making sure this time is the last time I tolerate his abuse, disrespect, etc. It is what I need to do to save myself. Thank you again.
mm,
Babe. Okay, and I'm just gonna throw this because women ask me all the time, why do you let him do this? And you want to know why I let him do this? Because of this right here. Because I get to see this. This is what I get to see. And
yep,
it, like, my heart totally is just, I love you.
I love it too.
Okay, go.
So to continue on the path that I normally on though. So she's getting out of the relationship. The first one obviously was terrible. Second one seemed like it's terrible as well too. So you stood up to it and you're moving on. So and it's crazy because today's Tuesday. So I actually just did a speaking engagement on this, and it said do not allow people to to disrespect you twice. Understanding the pattern is or understanding the pattern is awareness. Stopping it from happening again is growth. So she's growing.
That's my favorite, yes.
She noticed the pattern, she put a stop to it, and now she's moving on. So there's growth there. But I'm going to end up telling you, if that person is listening and anybody else in the situation, understand you are doing something wrong because the pattern actually is you. Now, you're not doing something wrong to these people, but you are accepting something into your life and you need to be aware of it. Now, it could be small, it could be major, it could be, something you really have to change a whole lot of, but you are somehow allowing this to happen to you repetitively. And normally it's a boundary that you're not drawing, getting involved with somebody too quickly, not investigating, overlooking things because of your attraction to them or attraction to the situation. But you are allowing something to slip past you. And you need to, make sure that you look within yourself and find out what that is. Normally it's boundaries.
I have, like, a good kind of example, like,
Yeah.
whenever I set a boundary for myself is that when I always needed to look at his phone.
Mhm.
I always needed to look at his phone, like, I was always checking, always looking, and then one day I just picked it up and I was gonna look at it and I was like, "Do I even care anymore?"
Right. Right.
And I just kinda threw it on the counter and walked away and never looked at it again, and won't ever look at another man's phone again. If I have to look, I'm gone.
Yeah.
It's just not something that I will tolerate.
Yeah. I mean, typically when you get to the point where you're looking for it, you're gonna find it because it's there.
Yeah,
You know, the fact that it's even in your mind to look, there's a breakdown in communication, there's a breakdown in affection, there's a breakdown of something else.
yeah,
And again, in some situations, the person is looking for something that's not even valid.
yeah,
But something is missing. Regardless,
yeah,
something is missing. So I mean, it's hard to trust. I mean, I'll give you that, but it's just you have to work on things before you get into another relationship because again, you don't want to drag that into another
yeah, you
relationship.
totally, like, seriously, you gotta search, like, you wanna look at that phone so bad that you need to start searching into yourself and figure out what makes you happy and what you
Yeah,
wanna
I mean,
tolerate and what you won't tolerate.
typically what I've seen just in the couple of years of social media and seeing messages and talking to people and also doing small researches on my end, usually what it is you let some red flag slip because you were afraid to not be without that person, or you didn't want to be without that person, or you were afraid to be alone. It's one of those three things. Because I guarantee you the signs were there. You didn't just wake up one morning and all of a sudden he was abusive. The
Yeah,
signs were there. You were overlooking things because of your feelings. And you need to not do that. You have to draw boundaries and then stand on it.
yeah,
Why would you draw a boundary and not stand on it? So I mean, it takes diligence, it takes work. And I'm not saying you got to have these outlandish, boundaries where nobody can get in, but you need to be more cautious. And I hate saying it that way because I feel bad for the person. I know they've gone through a ton, and so take the time out, work on yourself some more, continue to do the things that you want to do, and let somebody fall in your lap. And even to the point where like, where are you looking? Most people go look through websites or through, um, dating sites or go to the bar or, go through friends to hook you up. And like, there's always these different places, but it amazes me that nobody goes to the place where they want them to be, So if you think your ideal mate is somebody that likes to help people out, go join a soup kitchen. If you think your idealistic person likes to camp or hike, go join a camp or a camping or hunt or hiking group. That's most likely where you're going to find the people that you fit in with. You
that's
know what I
why we
mean? So,
that's why we say go find your happy. That means go do
yeah,
things you enjoy because that is going to be like-minded people.
yes, 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 yeah. Start there. Do the things you like to do instead of going to look for the partner. And I guarantee you stumble across the partner in the process of finding yourself. It's guaranteed. I promise you.
Yeah.
So.
right on
Was
the other
that
side of happiness.
right? Is that the last one?
But no,
Got more. All right, go
we have
for
a few more.
it. Okay,
Do we have time for a few more?
let's go with two more.
Okay. Hey guys, don't forget to hit subscribe, please.
Look,
I know. Instagram keeps putting me in a timeout. I said on IG, I wanted to ask you what you think about a 60-year-old man that thinks housework is women's work. He retired 5 years ago. I still work every day as a nurse. Dryers never unloaded, washers never loaded, dishwashers never loaded or cleaned out. I feel like a 1950s housewife without the luxury of being at home.
oh, so the roles have
Honey, let me just,
the
you
role
know,
that that's the first thing I heard was he retired. Okay, so the roles reversed. Because now you are the working woman and he is the stay-at-home person. So the roles have switched, and you guys have never talked about it or sat down and had a discussion. I guarantee you don't even know how he really feels about it. I'm not saying that he's right. What I'm saying is that a lot of times a role will flip and there's no discussion. You know, you guys were a team. To me, if things flip, you and I would have a discussion. Hey, okay, look, you would say, hey, Wes, I did this, and this all day. I have to go to work and you're at home. What can we do to make this work? That discussion would be there. You know what I mean? And there wouldn't, so the roles can reverse. Don't get me wrong, but it's got to be a discussion about it. And I can guarantee you, he doesn't feel like he wants to do anything. And also, hell, being at home after all those years of working could be greatly affecting his life, affecting his mental health. It could be affecting a lot of things. So those are the things that I see right away because I'm an overthinker. So I don't always, I didn't, you notice I didn't jump right in and say, oh, he's wrong and she's right. There probably isn't the proper amount of communication between the two of them because there's a huge role flip and that is instrumental to any relationship and they need to have a discussion about it, you know? So,
you're so good. I've been like, no, no.
yeah, no, but that's the biggest thing that I see. And again, he's not right for what he's doing, and she's not wrong for what she's saying.
I mean,
Um,
I kind of went through that whenever he retired and he was home, like through COVID and stuff. But I like we did certain things a certain way, and then I say yes to things, and he doesn't think the kids should get to do that, and like so
right,
things go back and forth, and you just have to be like you have to see eye to eye because if not, then things fall apart.
right, right. Well, the other thing too is she said she was a nurse, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well that didn't happen overnight. So
No.
obviously she's working and doing this stuff to begin with,
But
but now
role
she feels like because
reversals,
you're at
like, are
home,
hard to switch. It's what, like,
yeah, yeah. But see, now let's do it this way too. Listen to what I was saying. So
okay,
to me, it sounds like okay. It sounds like you were doing all this to begin with and working, and now you feel like because he's home, he should be doing it.
yeah, to help.
Why? Yeah. Well, the help should have been there to begin with. But so, for instance, like if they were in a conventional relationship where man duties, woman duties, y'all know how conventional relationships work. But even in a conventional relationship, just because there's a woman duty and a man duty, usually the man will still help out. He's not a jerk. He just they feel they both. That's the reason why they're in the relationship because they both feel this way that they'll have woman duties and man duties. So maybe it's that, you know. But again, what I just heard was you were doing it for a substantial amount of time and you feel like just because he's at home that he should you're not taking his feelings into consideration at all. You're not validating what he's going through at all. But again, I'm only hearing one side of the story, so it's hard for me to say what's what, but it's a lot more to unpack on that than just he's wrong. Although he is.
No. No, that was the last one that I have. Thought I had one more. I don't
You
have
thought you
another
had,
one.
that's fine. That's fine. We can try to wrap it up from there. Do you have a closing thought?
Um, I think that a lot of people's problems come with just miscommunication.
Right. Right.
Even because you don't even know how to even you don't even know what you want as a human, much less know what you want out of a relationship.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
much less know who you are or what makes you happy.
Right.
And those things have to all be addressed before you know. Now, if you're just dating and to get the booty calls, do it. But make sure you let that person know that, hey, this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like, that way they can make a decision for what's right for them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah. Be honest and communicate effectively and look for comprehension because they don't comprehend what you're saying. It ain't worth a lick.
And if
You know?
somebody's not giving you the attention that you need, tell them they cannot read your mind.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's the biggest thing too is people are afraid. It seems like people are afraid to talk. 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 Say what's on your mind. If that person is anything of a partner, then they're going to listen to what you say. Right. They're going to validate your
I
feelings
know.
and come to a conclusion between the two of y'all.
Yeah.
If somebody is mowing you down for saying what you feel, then there is a huge problem, and you most likely need to go seek counseling. So and that's that's another thing too with the emails that we're reading. I cannot stress more that we are not certified counselors, we are not psychiatrists, and you do need to go. That's where you start. Go find you a good psychiatrist. Go find somebody to talk to. You know. So
Yep.
that's it for me too.
That's all for
Okay.
me.
All right. All right. Well, again, y'all have a good evening. Make sure you reach out to us. Again, the link or the website is our email. Can't even speak. www.beardedsavagellc@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you guys and talking more. But for now, good night. Stay savage. We'll see you next time on the